Okay, so we're breaking down something with, one of these Spoon River anthologies. Now, there's a few things we're going to do with this. The main thing is we are going to capture one of our own emotional preparations to be able to put it into the script. So we are starting with emotional preparation, and we are starting with something that's going to activate it within us. We're going to activate something within us. So there's something that has to do with devastation that's starting to come up in me. It's not very comfortable. It kind of sucks, actually, to go through it, because it's like it's not a feeling that I really want to have necessarily, but it's a feeling that I know is really healthy for me as an actor and as a human being to go into, activate, and then work to express. So I'm constantly working with the expression of desolation, of desperation. So it's something where I'm trusting that I'm actually activating this thing. Now I can feel, now this entire speech here of Fletcher McGee, if I was going to do this, to actually do this for full acting, I might go and do 6 to 20 emotional preparations and activate 6 to 20 major things in myself to be able to encapsulate the words that the writer's written on this for the person of Fletcher McGee. That's how deep this actually is. This work, I'm not telling you that I'm doing full justification to it. And to be quite frank, in acting, a lot of times when you're working, you leave a lot off the table. Because when you're working with emotion, one take might be different than another, and then that's part of the whole thing. So this is normal process. Hi, can you do me a favor so I can do you a favor? I know a lot about acting, and I need really good acting questions. Don't be nervous if they're not as good as they need to be. Just submit them. One comment per entry. And then I'll be able to look at this, sort it out, and get back to you some really good, solid acting answers that you can consider so that you can build your own acting technique. I don't want to affect it in any way that harms it. All I want to do is make sure that you have every single tool that you can in your actor's toolbox, that you can then access yourself to be able to get those emotions and put those into your work, right into your imaginary circumstances. So what have I done? What have I done? Well, something has come up in me where I feel devastation. Now, it could have to do with some sort of, maybe there's something in here with me that has to do with a broken heart, of some sort of heartbreak. There's something with devastation. There's a devastation of a future wish or desire, or a devastation of hope for the future. There's devastation of those kinds. There's devastation that I'm feeling that has to do with relationship, or it's part of it. It's part of it. It's a piece of it. So it's good. It's good because this works with this material, the material of Fletcher McGee. So I'm not going to expect myself to be completely able to do perfect. What I'm going to expect myself to do is practice the technique of emotional preparation. I know I've activated some kind of desolation. Now I've just talked out that I've had some there's devastation in terms of desire for a future outcome. or there's something that maybe isn't certain in my future, or there's something where there's a devastation that's coming from that. That's one element. What are the other elements? Now, I have done so much work in acting all these years. And I have studied really famous people, I've studied non-famous people. I have studied so much technique work in acting. The thought of it not working out, so that basically I just end up getting buried with nobody knowing any of the work I've done, is another thing. Activates more devastation. It devastates me. I mean, it's like, what would be the point? Do this for two plus decades and go through all the different things that I've gone through and all the different, the stuff that I know about this industry and how it actually operates and how stuff at the very top levels actually work and what I've actually been told by people who own studios. I mean, it's just disgusting. And it's the real deal of how actually things actually work and why the industry is just so messed up. And believe me, I have every desire to be respectful of it. At the same time, I have every desire that I think it should be changed, because I think that there's so much talent missed out on. There's a devastation. This is very confusing. Could you help me out to help you out? I mean, this is very odd, but the reality is, all I'm asking is I'm asking for you to ask me really good acting questions. Really good acting questions. Now, don't worry if they're not too good. Just submit what you have. Ask questions, because you never know. I have studied so much, and I'd be more than happy to tell you what I think you need to be able to know to unhinge the access that you need to be able to access your own talent. There's another piece. There's another piece. So let's work off of this. Now, I'm working with just regular text. I usually work with my dyslexia font. So it's all capital letters. It's easier. But we'll work this way. She took my strength by minutes. She took my life by hours. She drained me like a feverish moon that saps the spinning world from its energy. The days went by like shadows, like life not lived. The minutes wheeled like stars. She took the pity from my heart and made it into smiles. She totally ignored the fact that I wasn't feeling anything what she was telling me. And she was like, oh, I'm happy. I'm not happy. I was miserable. I couldn't even have my own pity. She was a hunk of sculpture's clay. And my secrets were fingers. And that flew behind her pensive brow and lined it deep with pain. She literally crafted me out to be stuck in my pain. They set the lips and sagged the cheeks and drooped the eyes with sorrow, fighting like seven devils. It was not mine, it was not hers. She held it, but its struggles. She kept it in struggle. She modeled a face that she hated so she could keep herself miserable and keep me completely stuck. And in a face that I feared to see, every single day I feared to see my own face. I beat the windows, shook the bolts, and then I hid myself in a corner. And then when she died, she haunted me. And then she hunted me for my entire life. Now, does this sound like it's a marriage that somebody is unhealthy in? Yeah. Did I add some sort of emotion to it? Yes. Was it a decent enough exercise? Yes. If I do this and get more familiar with the words, is more going to come out every single time I work on it? Yes. Do I have a deeper concern now about being completely, absolutely stuck in isolation, in something that I'm just absolutely... Yes, did part of this come from my emotional preparation? And did my emotional preparation warf, or warfing, what was it, warfing, I think it's called, warfing, when it merges, it merged into what the words were? Now I know, the delivery, I get it. I understand, but what I'm looking at here is the emotion. Did I take a deeper emotional journey? Yes. Do I feel it in my throat? Yes. Now, I'm sure you could do better. No problem. Great. Go for it. But work with the emotion. Work with the emotion of getting the emotion stimulated first. If you have to talk it out, talk it out. If you talk it out with somebody, probably maybe better. But just internally, you can talk it out. I'm doing it out loud because I want it to be beneficial to you. So this would be one way. Now, I know there's a lot more in this. I could work and do 20 or 30 pages of work. Internal work. To be able to add all the different textures of this. I feel like I threw away the line where she held it with its struggles. She basically held it in struggle. She held my life completely in struggle. That's what this says. Of course, you could have different interpretations. So, work with this, look at this example, and this is a Spoon River. Now, you can do all kinds of things with this. This is just text to go into. And it's very, very difficult text to go into because it's well written. And it has many, many, many different meanings. Many different meanings. So, when I look at this, I look at it and I think to myself like, yeah, I could put a lot more work into it. I know that. But I know that this is a good enough example to be able to show you that it's this simple. It's something where I know I put something into the work. If I was given a conversational dialogue, then that would be fine. That would be coming out differently. There would be less emotion in it. There would still be emotion in it. And it would be more fluid than this hard language. But this hard language is fine to work with. Because what we're focused on is we're focused on training this emotional talent in ourselves. She took the pity from my heart. I wasn't even allowed to have pity. I wasn't even allowed to make adjustments myself. Because it was this weird relationship. And I was stuck in it. Unfortunately, I know some of these things. Helping you find the emotions that I know that are there inside of yourself. Activate those and then be able to put those into your acting is what I am all about. I think it's fantastic. I think it's very, very interesting. And I think it's not being done enough in acting. So if you would, submit questions to me so I can actually help you to develop your own acting technique. Personalize your own acting technique so that you can have this journey, an experience within the imaginary circumstances that you leap yourself into. And then all of a sudden you can have expanded, beautiful, absolutely emotionally rich exercises. And it's absolutely doable. You can fully do it.